We were just talking about Tomas Albernoz. We were having a little chat. Where does Albernoz rank in a top 10 fly-halves in the world? And we thought, what a great idea for a video, because everything is content now.
Yeah, but we're not just going to make this about Tomas Albernoz. Like, all Tomas Albernoz fans, welcome. I'm glad that you're watching. But this isn't all about
him. Our primary demographic is Tomas Albernoz fans.
We're going to do a little bit of a chat about the fly-half position, because we're Welsh.
Because the thing is, yes, you get into this, right? And it's so weird, because the 10 position is so separate from everything else. And you can drill it down, and like, so many of the all-time greatest players are fly-halves. And right now, it feels like every nation has a defined, nailed-in starting 10. Like Australia, obviously, Lola has been injured, so he's been out a little bit. Dan Edwards has only just kind of nailed down that position for Wales. But everyone has their 10, and all of them seem to define that nation and really stand out. So it's a really difficult exercise to stop and think, who are the top 10, number 10s in the world?
Yeah. I should say, before we get into this does not necessarily correlate to our Team of the Year.
No, it does
not.
Which
we're doing soon, which is coming end of this month, start of next month. Doesn't correlate to that, because the criteria for selection of Team of the Year isn't necessarily just who is the best in this. And this is also weird, like, I don't know, it's hard. We'll come into, I guess, some of our criteria in this. And also, we are just looking at the men's game for the purpose of this. We're just looking at the top 10 fly-halves in international men's rugby.
Yeah, so we set the criteria. You have to have played at least one test match this year. So Richie Mwanga does not count.
Yes.
And he would have been quite high up on my list.
Yeah.
I've agonised over it. But
he could have been number one
this year, so he's not eligible. Anyone who has played a single international match this year is eligible.
Yes.
2024.
So, do we want to start at number 10, or do we want to go
I think the way we do this, we start at number 10.
Okay.
And we each read out a list. And if they are higher up the other person's list, you say they're higher up my list, and we'll talk about when we get there.
Okay. In fact, before we go to number 10, have you got Caleb Muntz in your list?
I do not.
No, I've said he's just missed out. I'd probably have him as the 11th.
I have quite a few who I think are like... There's a lot of very good 10s, right? Caleb Muntz, you've got Matt Carver and Abs Dadze at Georgia.
Yeah.
Both excellent players. Echeverry with Uruguay, who's not the most rounded 10, but like great kick of the ball and a brilliant kind of attack manager. Great at kind of delivering and putting people into space. You've got a bunch of those players who I think like I'd like to give an honourable mention to.
Yeah, a couple as well of good ones that I've not quite got in the top 10. Paolo Garbisi I've not quite got in the top 10.
Likewise.
Crowley and Prendergast I've not quite got in the top 10.
Likewise. I think weirdly they kind of take points off each
I
other.
think they do,
I
and
think
that's
people
a shame.
Grappling for the shirt is tricky to lay out, and they're both such different players.
Yeah, and they're both so good.
Yeah.
So honestly, like they are possibly 11 and 12 at this point.
Yeah.
Again, Muntz maybe has something to say about that. Marcus Smith I've not quite got in the top 10 as well.
I very narrowly left out Tomas Ramos, who is a bit of a wild card because he doesn't really play fly half. But when he plays, I think he possibly is in the top 10 10s in the world.
I get that.
But I'm a bit like, there just isn't enough tape, and obviously he played there for Toulouse at the weekends. We're recording this. Like, he's played plenty of fly half there, played a bunch in the Six Nations this year. So it's not an uncommon position for him, but I left him out kind of on the basis of he's a fullback, and it made this exercise easier if I'm not counting Tomas Ramos in.
Stay in his lane.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall I go with my 10th place?
Yeah, please.
I've gone with Mathieu Jalabert.
Okay, he is higher up my list.
Okay.
I have gone with Andre Pollard at number 10.
Okay, interesting. He's in my list.
He's in so he's high up your list.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get on to both of those as we go then. Number 9, I've gone for Owen Farrell.
I've gone for Owen Farrell, number 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a funny one. He has a lot of points taken off him from the fact that he has played probably about half an hour of Test rugby this year.
All for the Lions.
Yeah, and some of that was at inside centre as well.
Yeah.
So that's a funny one. We don't know quite what his position is in international rugby at the moment, but because you pointed out that he counts, and I was kind of going like, are we sure he counts? I kind of felt like I couldn't not pick him.
Yeah. I rate Owen Farrell unbelievably highly. I just think he is the key test match animal in here. Andre Pollard's also on that list, right? And I don't think Pollard's had the best year in a Springbok shirt. I don't think he's been bad by any stretch, but just like he looks quite limited when you put him next to another player who will come up later in the list for me, is Matani Lebok. No, he looks quite limited in comparison, and I think the game has kind of moved away from that Andre Pollard, Dan Bigger, Johnny Sexton type fly half, who's more kind of runs the game and manages it, rather than being like a key component themselves.
Okay.
Where I think Farrell can do everything. I think Farrell can do all of it. and he is the most versatile. People keep talking about him. Like, it's one of the things that's really frustrating me. People talking about Rafael as if he's just a kicker or he's just like a boring crash ball.
It's not true at all.
It's not true. He's one of the best passers of the ball I've ever seen.
Yeah.
His ability to throw long balls, he is always in such control of a match, whilst also being active in it.
There's, and again, like, we're getting a little bit kind of like retrospective here, I suppose. But like, the pass he threw to Elliot Daly for the winning try against Wales, and the pass he threw to Liam Williams to set up the Felipe Faletau try for the Lions, are two of the top 5 passes I've seen in my life.
I was going to pull another one when you said his one to Elliot Daly. But it's to Johnny May, but against Ireland, first minutes in 2019, is one of the best passes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, he's just an absolutely phenomenal 10.
Yeah.
Been playing well for Saracens, and like, obviously he's had the odd off game, but is sort of adapting back to all of this. But yeah, I rate him incredibly highly.
I've just realised, when you were talking about Ramos there, that I've not included Damien McKenzie in this, and perhaps I should have done.
He narrowly missed out for me.
Okay.
I was thinking about him. I think he's just outside the top 10.
Yeah, I think I've considered him a fullback for the sake of this.
I think Ramos and McKenzie, I took points off for their fullback antics.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so number 8, I've gone for Finn Smith.
I've gone for Marcus Smith.
Oh, interesting.
Finn Smith is not in my list, which I agonised over a lot. And I took out quite last minute.
You're a Marcus over Finn guy.
I've got a lot of like crossings out on my list, and I had Finn in there for a long time, but I'm like,
it's a funny one. I think the thing is, instinctively, what I was about to say, and I don't actually believe this, what I was about to say is, I think Marcus Smith's a better rugby player, but Finn Smith's a better fly half. But the thing is, I think that's the basic bitch take that everyone uses that isn't actually true, where a load of people like really misunderstand Marcus Smith as a fly half.
Yes.
Whereas if you actually like watch him play for Harlequins, and when he was playing fly half for England, his game management is the best part of his game.
Yeah.
The nicest looking part of his game is the fact he steps around people and he does all the flashy things and he runs really fast.
Yeah.
But actually, that's not the best part of his game. It is how he runs and attacks.
If you go on, how well have they played in 2024? You would take Finn Smith.
It's 2025, mate, but yeah.
If you were, sorry, in 2025. 2024, we had Marcus on our team of the year. Right?
Yeah.
It's easy to forget how long ago that feels. But
he was England's
if you were to ask me, you were to say you're the owner of a club, right? A club that isn't going out of existence in the next few weeks, which would be nice. Imagine me supporting a club that isn't about to not exist. Which would you rather sign to be your statement fly half? I would take Marcus Smith
I'd take Marcus,
every single day because I think he's a more rounded player. I think he's got more to his game. And Finn Smith is a brilliant classic fly half.
Yeah.
And like, there's a bit of me that looks and goes like, but should I put him in a Pollard? You know, should I put him in a Farrell? I don't know. And it's no slight on Finn Smith. And just because they're both English and called Smith, you kind of naturally pit them against each other.
Yeah.
A bit like Crowley and Pendergast.
I'm glad that we've each picked one of them.
Yeah, Marcus is a really good game manager, a really good kicker of the ball, like both technically, but also such an intelligent kicker and so good at opening up space with what seems like a more conservative kicking game, with looking at bombs, looking at long raking kicks, and opening up space for himself and for others. And people characterise him as something he isn't, which is this purely flash thing. And I think partly because England want him to play that role when he's at fullback.
Yeah.
And so we don't see the best of him when he's playing that 15 jersey.
Yeah.
So I think I love Marcus Smith, and I think
I love Marcus Smith.
I think he's way better than people give him
I
credit for.
agree, and I
he's way
think
more rounded.
maybe Borthwick and also Andy Farrell's management of Marcus Smith has taken points off him for me.
Yeah.
For the purpose of an exercise like this.
I don't mind it because I think he's got two other very good fly halves.
Yeah.
Steve Borthwick, you can't afford to build a team around Marcus Smith in the way he has at Queen's.
Sure. Okay, who have you got at number 8 then?
It was my number 8, Marcus Smith.
Oh, Marcus Smith. Okay, who's your number 7?
7 is Matthew Jalabert.
Okay, so you've got him higher.
I originally had lower, then I kind of started to think about it, like, well, he won a Champions Cup, well, he does all of this flashy nonsense. I kind of don't disagree that I think maybe Jalabert isn't as good as the others. But also he is, like, in terms of pure talent and ability and being able to pull things out, like he's number 2 or 3 on this list.
We're not professional rugby coaches or anything like that. We are fans. We obviously analyse the game, but we're fans. And as a fan, like, what better player than Mathieu Jalabert is there to watch?
Exactly, yeah. So Jalabert gets in there largely for how much fun he is.
Yeah. And also, like, there's a lot of strings to his game, like, in terms of his attack and stuff. And also, like, one thing that I think is really underestimated about Jalabert, he clearly understands the game of rugby, like, inside out.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly, like, knows it better than, like, probably some of his coaches, most of his teammates and so on. But it's his intrusive thoughts sometimes he gives into.
Yes. I think a bit of this as well, watching that Bordeaux Bulls game at the weekend, which we haven't covered in the Champions Cup. Apologies, we've got a lot going on at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But, there's so much going on. But, like, that second half was full Jalabert.
Yeah.
Like, first half, he was full Jalabert for better and for worse. Second half, it was just for better. And he was so much fun. He was so good. And it kind of, I think in my mind, like, reminded me just how good he can be when he's having a good
Again,
day.
like, if you're making a statement signing, somebody that you can mould your whole game around, Jalabert's that kind of guy, isn't he?
Who's your number 7?
My number 7, and you're going to hate me for this, is Roman Ntamack.
Higher up my list.
Yes, I figured. We'll come on to him later on. Number 6, for me, in fact, I'll go first, is Andre Pollard.
Okay, so you've gone much higher up than I did.
I've gone much higher than you did.
Okay.
It's quite interesting, because I'm interested to know your perspective of why you put him below Mathieu Jalabert.
It's a really good question.
Like, I get having him a bit lower down, but having him below Jalabert,
I think
it's like, as a player you take seriously.
If this was a World Cup year, or if the game was currently shifting back into a kicking phase, it's been in attack phases last year.
Yeah.
So I think Jalabert is more valuable to a team than Pollard. And I think in a World Cup year, I'll put Pollard way up there. But you look at like that Premiership final, right? He was not clutch in the way we expect him to be. There have been moments this year of, and maybe that's too much to pin on him, was one game there, right? But there have been moments this year where he's just looked like a very good, very sensible fly half.
I get that.
Rather than the guy. And obviously turn back into that in 2027.
Do you think Russie's rotation's taking points off him as well?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's massively damaged his case for me.
Yeah.
And not damaged it, that's harsh.
No, but like, if he was still starting for the Springboks and they were as good as they are,
there's a good chance of putting number 1.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what do you think Russie Erasmus would say to justify him going high up the list?
You trust him.
Yeah,
he's
trustworthy.
Him. Yeah.
And he wins titles.
Yeah.
So, like,
he didn't earlier this year.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
But also, like, at the same time, there is nothing more I can say to justify my case of putting him high up the list than that. So, yeah.
Okay, my number 6 is the guy that started this whole conversation, Tomas Albernoz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just think he's great.
I've got him higher up my list.
Higher up your list. Okay, we'll come on to him then.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Oh, no. The thing is, I'm now looking and I'm recalibrating my list. I think the thing is, like, I'm happy with my 1 and 2, but don't know which way round they should go. And I've got the same with my 4 and my 5, and I don't know which way round they should go. And you know what? No, I think Tomas Albernoz is my number 5. I think I'm going to change my mind. I did have him written in at number 4.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to change my mind and put him number 5.
So I've got my 6, you've got my 5.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll talk about Albernoz now.
Yeah.
The thing about Tomas Albernoz is when he first came into that 10 jersey for Argentina, anyone who watches the URC was like, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Because for Benetton, he's always like
he's
really
deserved this chance.
Good, he's class. And then he had that game against the Springboks where he completely tore them to shreds. And you're like, oh my God, he's had the game of his life. And since then, he's just played like that. That's just kind of who he is in international rugby.
That became his standard.
And now he's just one of those guys where the bigger the game, the better he is. Which is why I had him a bit higher, and we'll come on to the semantics of this shortly. But yeah, like against the Lions, he was in complete control of that game. There was points of that where it was like Albernoz felt like the one player on the pitch in that Lions test. So, like again, like he's just a player I take so incredibly seriously, and he's recently announced a move to Toulon.
Yeah,
and I think that really is great for him because his ambition is to be a World Cup winning fly half.
Yeah.
And I think he is genuinely capable of being that. And
Agreed.
Playing in the top 14 is the best thing for him at this point.
I think he suits the way Argentina play incredibly well as well, and I think he probably will suit the way Toulon play.
Yeah.
He's a 10 who both likes to be a conduit and likes to take a lot on his shoulders. He's a guy who will be passively running the attack in, a way of a number of these players in this team. Then will have a moment where he becomes Andre Pollard, or he becomes Dan Bigger, or he becomes, whoever, Johnny Sexton.
Or becomes a Mathieu Jalabert or a Marcus Smith.
But he's capable of kind of shifting gears. You can almost see him like pull the lever and change into a different player as he goes. And I really enjoy that about him. I think he suits his Argentine team perfectly. I think he's a excellent player.
Okay. I did have him written in at 4, and I think I'm swapping him to 5 for the sake of this. Who's your number 5?
My number 5, again, you might not like this, is Finn Russell.
He's my who I had at number 5 and have shifted to number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. That's quite interesting.
I thought you might have Finn higher.
I would have done.
Yeah.
But I think as a part-time Scotland fan, I'm so seething about the Townsend run and how it's all going
Yeah.
that I've kind of taken it out on Finn here and gone again, I love Finn Russell, and I got accused of hating Finn Russell for my take around the Lions. That I thought Andy Farrell might not like him. It turns out it was the complete opposite, and Andy Farrell loved him and worked everything around him. And how brilliant Finn was on the Lions series has kind of kept him up there for me. And has been for Bath, in terms of how he plays in the Premiership, he constantly shows that he is one of the best kicking fly halves of the last decade.
It's the tricky thing is 2024, Finn has been notably better for the Lions and Bath than he has been for Scotland.
It's still 2025, mate, but carry on.
I can't get track.
It's nearly 26, brother. Crack on.
Can't believe how broken my brain is. I'm so tired.
I can't wait to release last year's moments of the year next week. Anyway,
It'll be 1 moment long.
Weirdly, I think you're right. It goes Lions, Bath, Scotland in terms of how you judge his form.
And I think I've kind of largely judged on international rugby. And I think in that arena, the Six Nations was some of the weakest rugby he's played, and he's still a phenomenal player. He still wanted this high up. It says everything about him. The fact that we're talking about why isn't he higher, rather than going into why he's managed to make.
Because he's defaulted at 1 or 2 for most of his career, hasn't he?
Certainly the last number of years.
And also Scotland have built everything around him, and will continue to do so for basically forever. So, it's a weird one. Again, he's one of my favourite players ever.
Yeah.
So, and again, both from an entertainment perspective and just the guy's an incredible game manager. And it's kind of weirdly one of the most important fly halves rugby has seen in the professional era. But I was toying between him and Albernoz because Albernoz has won a bit more at international level in 2025. Obviously, Finn's won a domestic trophy, which definitely has some weight. And also he's won a Lions series, which is huge. So I guess he's won 2 more trophies than Albernoz has. But I don't know. It's a weird one, a hard one to justify. But I think those two are weirdly kind of neck and neck at the moment because Albernoz is probably scrapping to become a World Cup winning 10.
Yeah. I wouldn't have argued for Albernoz over Finn at the minute. But then I also think Finn...
It's what I had written down. But
but I also think Finn he was so good in the Lions tour. He's been so good largely for Bath. So, okay. Should we move on to number 4?
Yeah.
I wonder if we've got... Oh, no, because I've got one player that you have got lower. So
Okay, so I think we know who each other's top 4 are, but they're in different order. So, because you've still got Ontamak to go.
Yes.
So who's your number 4?
George Ford.
George Ford, interesting.
Okay.
I have him in my list.
He's higher up your list.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll come on to him.
Yeah. You've got to look at current form, haven't you? You've got to look at what happened in the autumn, where he was arguably the best fly half this autumn series. And obviously early in the year he wasn't getting in the England team. But okay, you take him there. Okay, number 3.
Bowden Barrett.
Okay, higher up my list.
Okay.
Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu.
You've got him 3.
Number 3 for me.
Okay. Well, we might as well just say our top 3s at this point.
Okay. Then we'll just
pretty much looking at the same players.
Okay, yeah. So I've got Sasha at number 3. You've got
I've got Sasha at number 2 and George Ford at number 1.
You've got George Ford at number 1.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, we'll talk about that now.
Yeah.
So you've got him 4?
I've got number 4.
George Ford.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Sasha and Ford, I'm flip-flopping between the two of them. Ford, I put number 1 just because, and this is a bit unfair on Sasha, but thankfully it's a team sport, so it doesn't fucking matter. And Sasha's playing in a better team. But Ford, I feel is more essential to his team's game plan. And that's kind of a bullshit point. But because he comes in and you go, he's going to go for crossfield bombs, spiral bombs, he's going to kick the leather off it, he's going to go for drop goals, and you see all of that, and then he plays that first test of the autumn, and he just manages the attack as well as that against Australia, and everything revolved around him, and you go, oh no, he is the pure membrane fly half, anything you need your fly half to do, he just does really, really well.
I think... Because Sale had been kind of and he's always very good for Sale. But he's not pushing Sale at the table, is he?
No, he's not.
Sale are consistently finishing that mid-table position. And because he only played 20 minutes in the Six Nations, I'm kind of going it's recency bias. As I say, I think if you're basing it purely on the autumn, going who is the best fly half of that 5-game window, it's George Ford.
Recency bias has definitely played its part.
But then also we didn't lay out criteria of we base this on current form or the whole year.
No, whereas for Team of the Year, for example,
we know
where
what we're doing.
We update it all year round,
yes.
for instance. Not so, not to give anything away.
Yeah, so I could definitely go for George Ford being higher if we're doing a collaborative list, which we're not.
Yeah.
Sasha at number 3, I think there's still flaws to his game, but he's just like this unbelievable talent.
Yeah, again, as a talent, he's kind of everything you need in rugby.
And he's the most talented player to come along since Dupont.
That's it. And a lot of people would probably argue that he should be nominated for World Player of the Year and potentially could have won it.
Yeah.
And I completely buy all of that. Honestly, again, if somebody, and they will, if South Africans attack me in the comments about the fact that I've picked Ford over Sasha, I completely get it. Because Sasha, in a way, has more to his game in terms of his solo attack, in terms of he is much faster and stronger and has a better offload and will do a 50-22 better than George Ford will on all of those things and kick off his wrong foot better than him. And all of these things which do factor in when you're that as good as Sasha is at all of these. So yeah, that's quite a hard one to justify, but those two could be either way round for me. But Sasha, I think, is kind of the form guy. But also, just as I say, George Ford, because England have put so much on him, I had to kind of elevate him a little bit. Yeah. I don't know, it's hard to justify.
So I've gone number 2, Roman Untermack.
Okay.
So I love Roman Untermack. I think he's brilliant in terms of decision-making, right?
Yeah.
The fly-off's core job is to make decisions. Untermack is the best decision-making fly-off in the world.
Which is why he is safe in that jersey above Jalabert every day of the week.
Yeah.
Even though Jalabert is arguably a more talented player.
Yeah. And I think France's kicking game no longer leans into his strengths, which I think is disappointing. But I just think his ability to pick the right passes, to choose when it's on to go for whatever option. He's always very laid back and doesn't always like the ball coming in out of his hands an awful lot, but calls a lot around him and other people to take over and do stuff as well. I just rate Roman Untermack unbelievably highly. Yeah. And my number 1 is Bowden Barrett. Okay.
To quickly touch on Untermack there. A couple of years ago, I probably would have had him number 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like I've just seen a little bit less of him this year. And that's probably, it's funny, again, recency bias, because he won a Six Nations for France. Granted, he wasn't in the driver's seat, he wasn't in the 10 shirt for all of that. He had the ban and all sorts happening around that. But I don't know, I feel like I've seen him in a slightly less commanding role. I think a part of that is, as you say, because they're not kicking long as much or in a way that suits Untermack as much. So if we were going on the most handsome, he would be walking into number 1.
Sorry, Sasha.
Sorry, Sasha. You are up there, mate.
Sorry, Matt Carver.
Yeah. But yeah, I think... So I've kept Untermack at 7.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think a lot of that is my own biases for how much I love him and love watching him holding over.
I get that.
I think actually, if we're doing it purely on the form, he probably does fall behind Sasha and Ford. I can't just.
We're doing it on vibes as well as form.
We're doing it on vibes and hair.
Yeah.
We didn't mention, but hair is an important component.
Yes, it's fly halves we're talking about.
So Bowden Barrett then is my number 1.
Yeah, okay. Talk to me about Bowden Barrett.
Who I think has just been one of the best players in the world this year. Yeah. And people keep saying, you're just cooking the ball away, All Blacks need to play it through hand. I'm like, well, no, it's missing the point of what he's doing, right? He is creating so much space, he's moving this team downfield, and he's recognising when the attack isn't working. And I just think he has been the fly-half who has controlled and improved his team the most this year.
I have zero arguments with anything you just said. I think actually what Bowden Barrett's been this year is what Finn Russell went through about 5 or 6 years ago, when he turned from this maverick 10 who just, and he still is a maverick, you know what I mean? He turned from being exclusively a maverick 10 with that cliche of he'll win you a game or lose you a game. He turned from that into the best game managing and kicking fly half there was around there. And that's kind of what Bowden Barrett's been doing all year.
Exactly. Bowden is in that phase and he could do that already and combine both. But since he's lent solely into that, he is the best in the world. He's the best kicking fly half in the world. And I keep saying this, and people keep going, no, he should be running the ball though. And I'm like, no, but look at why he's kicking and what he's doing. And the way in which he'll pin one long kick back, the opposition return it, and then he'll run an extra 20 metres because he's forced him into a position where they can't catch.
And also,
how often are we seeing that kind of shit from him? It's every single game, over and over again.
He's not going to make line breaks like he did when he was 22.
Yeah.
Just every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
You think, the thing people always said about Brian O'Driscoll, who's not fly half, but was that he adapted his game as his body changed.
Yeah.
And that was what made him one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
You can say exactly the same thing about Bowden Barrett, that he has rounded out his kicking game. And he's always had the best kind of kicking for space in the world. Yeah. But whether it's for length or for contestables, Bowden Barrett is so solid in all of those.
Yep. Okay, other fly halves I had like honourable mentions that we haven't brought up. Crowley and Prendergast you mentioned.
Yeah.
Dan Ed's pure bias. Pure bias. He's nowhere near a top 10, but like if you're doing a top 50, he's in there.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Matt Coldabs and Daze of Georgia, really enjoyed the pair of them.
Lodoseo, you mentioned earlier.
Lodoseo, yeah. I probably would leave the other Australians out for the time being.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I think it's been an up and down year for everyone.
Yeah.
No one's really nailed down
Tom
that shit in
Lyon
his
needs
absence.
time.
Tom Lyon has been good.
Carter Gordon needs to learn to kick goals.
Yes. And Tane Edmund doesn't quite look it yet.
Yeah, I like Tane Edmund, but
Me too,
he needs time again.
Sang-Sung Lee.
Yes, I like it.
Who is very good at managing an attack and not much more.
Yeah.
But that is what Japan want from a fly half. So you take it. Caleb Munch, you mentioned. Excellent, excellent player. Manny Lebok. How do you feel about Manny Lebok?
So, in certain aspects, he should definitely be on this list.
Yeah.
Like, I think there will be a lot of people who watch a lot of URC,
Yeah.
who will think we are really hard on Libok here, and I completely get it. He's the best cross-field kicker in the world at the moment. Like that one skill of the attacking kick, he is the best in the world at that. Occasionally he doesn't stand up at the biggest moments, like what we were saying about somebody like an Albernoz or an Ontamak, as you were going on
That's
about.
it, yeah.
And that's kind of the one strand. It's why he's not ahead of Sasha,
Yeah.
He's nearly as talented as Sasha, but he doesn't quite have that temperament at test level that Sasha does. Not to say he doesn't have temperament at test level, but you know what I mean? Not to the same levels as some of these best fly halves in the world.
Yeah, I would agree with pretty much everything you have just said. Hinkley Valvasser of Romania.
I thought about him as an honourable
mention. In terms of pure
mention.
talent and ability, he does not manage a game, he does not control a game. Who needs him to? He's a baller.
In a better team, he wouldn't play fly half.
No.
He'd play outside centre or fullback.
Yeah, and he does play that for Romania, quite regularly.
Yeah.
Like rotisserie of like 30 fly halves, so pick him full.
He's class though.
He's very good. He's very good. I just enjoy him.
Same as Rodrigo Fernandez. Like he'd play a different position if he was playing in a better position.
AJ McGinty.
Yeah.
In terms of a 10 who makes their team better, there are very few teams who are and this is no disrespect for Hildebeck or anyone, but like there are very few teams where the drop off between their first and second choice fly half and how good the team is in general, how much better the USA are when they have McGinty in.
It's not just
enormous.
First and second choice fly half, it's first and second choice captain.
Yeah.
Because he's been captain for USA for since Blaine Scully retired in 2019. And he's been that team.
Yeah.
Like he's carried that team so unbelievably hard in a tough few years.
Yeah.
So it's a funny one. Obviously he's injured at the moment and the USA have been off the radar a little bit, safe to say, in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, but he 100% deserves to be in this conversation.
There's plenty more names I could bring up and just be like, oh, you're just listing the fly halves now,
It got a little bit like that when you mentioned Shang-Shun Lee, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know. But I was just going for international fly halves and just being like, who's had a good year?
Yeah.
Who do I rate? The same thing, McGinty, that's true of Sam Costello for the Scarlets. The Scarlets are a much better team when Costello's playing. He's not done anything at international level for 2 years. He's just looked kind of underconfident and had the odd good game, the odd moment, but there's a few of those floating about. Of plenty of those players where I'm just like...
Are we just saving ourselves a job on the honourable mentions and team of the year? Is that what
I guess so. Then DMAC and Ramos obviously are right up there, but yeah.
Okay, so I think we're pretty much in agreement about who the top 10 fly halves in the world are.
Yeah.
Little bit of disagreement on the order.
If we were to nail down who do we think is number one? You've gone Barrett. Oh, no, I've gone
we
Barrett.
both put Sasha 2, right?
I put Sasha number 3, but I'd go with him at number 2. I wouldn't argue with you.
Yeah, I don't really know. Luckily, this isn't a collaborative list.
No.
And again, has no bearing on the team of the year, which is a collaborative list, but under different criteria.
So we're going to have to go for someone else. And therefore, our best fly half in the world is Callum Sheedy.
Callum Sheedy, yes.
It's Callum Sheedy.
Okay, sound. All right, so thank you for watching. We have concluded that Callum Sheedy is the number one fly half.
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half.
Otherwise, we couldn't agree. This video would have gone around in circles forever.
Mate.
So we had to pick someone we just didn't mention at all. So it's Callum Sheedy.
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in the world. Cardiff second in the URC for a reason.
Yeah.
Because of Callum Sheedy.
Yeah. He's the third best fly half in all of Wales. He is a serious player.
And the best fly half. Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in the world.
He's actually playing well for Cardiff this season.
He's actually been playing really well. He's actually been kind of improved in the ways I've wanted him to for a few years.
He's the best fly half in the world.
Yeah. Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in the world. Can you say it as well? So
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in the world.
One more time.
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in all of rugby.
The men's game.
Men's game.
Men's game.
So Callum Sheedy
clears, but
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in all of men's rugby.
He's the best fly half of a penis.
Now you say it to the camera just one more time, then we'll end the video.
Callum Sheedy is the best fly half in union. Do you want to do it once more?
No.